We're just going to go live here, and then we'll do the show open here in a minute. But good morning, everybody. It's good to see you here. I'm just going to real time get some people disappointed. All right.
Oh, sweet.
Rock 102.1, you're caller number one.
All right.
All right. Rock 102.1, you're caller number two.
Thank you.
No problem. I'm going to be honest with you. Jesse called in just a minute ago when you were in the bathroom, and he was asking about Beartooth tickets, which Razor's giving away.
Yeah.
And then, and he's like, well, I'm still going to try to win those story of the year. And I was like, you don't want to do that because then you can't get the Beartooth tickets. He's like, I have a much better chance winning them from you. And I'm just like in my head, I'm like, I don't want to give you these tickets now. That's 3, 4. Who's this? Priscilla, what's it? What's up? Angela. The what? Oh, the Celtic Festival. Good. Yes.
Okay.
Tell her I'll grab her in just a moment. Yeah, I'll grab her. You're call number 4. Call number 5.
Thank you.
You know what? I like your laugh. You're call number 10 now. How about that? Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, just doubled it up. Babuski. What's your name?
My name's Jasmine.
All right, Jasmine, I'm going to hook you up these tickets for Story of the Year, and that show's happening tomorrow. Are you down to go to Club Encore tomorrow to check them out?
I am down to go to Club Encore tomorrow and check them out.
All right,
Nice.
well, then these tickets are yours. All right, I'm just going to play a clip here on our stream real quick, and then I'm going to get all your info, okay?
Okay.
All right, let's see. All right, for those of you watching earlier this morning, let's see. I'm still downloading my show open, so why don't we start things off with our morning moron? Check this out. Rock 2.1 KFMA. That was Disturbed. It's now 6:18 and time for your morning moron. Let's do this. And since it's November 1st, we got to talk about a dummy who's dressed in a Halloween costume getting arrested, huh? Yeah, this happened in Florida. So,
Of course it did.
yeah, of course, you can rely on that great mistake of a state. In Key West, actually, the man dressed as a banana tried to give police the slip.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah, I mean, it writes itself.
I mean,
and
yeah.
everyone else actually was writing that same joke all over the place. According to a arrest report, it was a 20-year-old drunk dude named Kyle. He was spotted by police whipping out his own personal fruit basket and taking a leak. So, dressed as a banana, whipped out his mini banana, and just peed. So, it's urination in public. That is against the law. I'm sure the kid was drunk and partying.
Yeah.
After realizing he'd been busted, he didn't want to go out like that. So he reportedly peeled out and fled down the street to get away. Now, in a zigzagging foot pursuit, it only lasted a few moments before a second officer was able to tackle his ass and use a leg sweep to bring him to the ground. So, I mean, honestly.
Please say there's video of this somewhere.
Yeah, well, we're going to have to wait for the dash cam footage or the police footage, because they all have cameras now on them to be released, because I'm sure that's hilarious. I'm immediately imagining Reno 911. It seems like a situation that would be straight out of Reno 911. It's a drunk kid dressed as a banana, gets caught, urinating in public, then does a zigzag chase, runs in a zigzag pattern not to get caught by police, and they were able to get him, rough him up a little bit.
Yeah,
and
I'm reading the arrest report. It says zigzagging.
Yeah, no, I know. And that's funny too, because I don't know if he was thinking that if he is in Florida, he was thinking the cops are like alligators and they can't go in a zigzag pattern. Like, dude, no, we're human. We know how to go from left to right, dude.
Dude, and the fact they were so close to Old City Hall, where I guess it's where they process people that they arrest, that they just walked him over. Like, he was right there.
Funny. Yeah, well, he's due to be arraigned on my birthday, November 16th. And if convicted, there's no word on if he plans to appeal. Thank you. All right, we're here. We're still here. Just welcoming our guests. Let me get this popped up and ready. We got Angela from the Celtic Festival. Celtic Festival is an awesome event. So good morning, and it's good to see you. And Angela listens to the show as well, so I thank you for that. And I'm excited to have you in because, I've always been kind of a fan of the Celtic Festival and the festivities that they do. So it's great to remind people about, everything that the Celtic Festival kind of brings and how people could come out. And it's not just kilt watching. Right. you know.
Well, it is for me.
Are you a fan of kilt washing though? You seeing some kilts? Have you ever seen anybody, Angela? And this is not on the air, so you know. You see any kilt accidents where, you know, because there's, you know, you'll have to refresh my memory as far as the name of the games, because they're traditional names and a lot of stuff. So say like a big like telephone pole tossing competition.
That would be the caber toss.
What is it called?
The caber toss.
The caber toss, right? So yeah, and that's it's a burly competition. But yeah, you ever see somebody like give it their all and then kind of go head over heels and accidentally see a moon in the middle of the day?
Well, the rules for a competition is you do have to wear something underneath your kilt.
Oh, that's not tradition.
No, you know what? That rule was made after it happened once. You know that. That's a fact. Like somebody was not wearing underwear and then had one of those situations and there was kids around and they're like, okay, new rule. You know, that's how these rules get
You need
made.
to wear some Spanx.
Okay, so if you're in a competition, you got to wear underwear, which is good. And it's going to be a nice day too. So it's happening this weekend, is it not?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Are you excited?
Yeah, very excited.
Yeah, nice. I know that we've given out tickets for this before, you know, leading up to this. And it's been a couple weeks since we given out tickets on air, I believe. But you have it pulled up for me too, huh?
I do.
Nice.
Look at me being all professional.
Yeah, look at that. That looks good. All
Mm-hmm.
right, good. We got about 30 seconds here and then we'll go on air with the tease. And then I wonder, you know, I should text Priscilla. It might be too late to give out one last pair of tickets on air while we have you in, but you know, we have Creed tickets, same thing. You know, Creed's
Well, I can
Celtic.
always put people on will call, so we don't necessarily need tickets.
Okay, yeah, we might do that. I mean, it's not a necessity, right? We might get to that, but let's get into a tease here. Rock 102.1 KFMA. That's Giovanni and the Hired Guns. Please welcome in studio a very special guest who's here to inform us and hype us up for all things Celtic Festival, which is the 37th annual Tucson Celtic Festival and Scottish Highland Games. Angela, good morning.
Good morning.
All right, so we are going down the rabbit hole of checking out some images on the podcast broadcast where you can join us, youtube.com/bevegan. But coming up next, we're going to talk about everything to expect from the food to the games, what time you should get there, where you should park, and everything else about the Celtic Games next, right after Lincoln Park. So keep it right here on Rock 102.1 KFMA. There you go, see? Jeez. So professional. Look at me proing it up, Angela. How long have you been with the Celtic organization?
Oh, wow. I think it's been about 12, 13 years now.
Okay. Yeah. How do you get involved in something like that?
I became a volunteer is what I did.
Nice.
Yeah, we offer perks for volunteering at the festival. Not only do you get in, you get a free t-shirt, but you get to stay for the volunteer after party.
And that's got to be a rager, right?
Yes,
Nice.
it is.
What is the drink of choice at the volunteer after party? Do they bust out mead or that's a
we
different?
have mead. We have plenty of Guinness products.
Yes.
Yes, of course. Harp, all that good stuff. And then whatever's left over, including the whiskeys. So,
Oh, nice. Yeah. So initially you go in for the volunteer aspect of it for the party, which I don't blame you and stuff. And then eventually you become like, is it like a staff member? Is this a full-time throughout the year just planning this event?
Yeah, it's a full-time throughout the year. We do other events besides the Tucson Celtic Festival. We also have, we do stuff for Tartan Day. Of course, St. Patrick's Day. We host a Mother's Day tea right before Mother's Day, which is pretty awesome. It's gotten pretty big.
Nice.
So,
Yeah. Well, where's the Mother's Day tea usually at?
Northminster Presbyterian Church.
Okay.
Which is, where we have our meetings. People can become members and help plan throughout the year.
It's like a Celtic church.
Yeah, well,
Anyway.
Presbyterian typically tends to be Celtic. But yeah, that's where our chaplain is housed, and
Nice.
we do events there too. So
Nice.
pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. So how long were you a volunteer before you became officially a part of the organization?
Roughly about 10 years.
Yeah, see, well, I feel that grind too. I mean, I pretty much volunteered in radio the same amount till I, got paid to do radio. So that makes sense. We're looking at the video. You can see this here.
This is
just
from
the
last year.
games. Yeah, it's always so fun. It really is. And you guys always pick a good weekend too. And knock on wood, hopefully it continues to be like a good weekend, because weather's so stupid now. Uh,
Weather's dumb.
it is. You can't predict it even in November. But let's say if it's anything like this week so far, then it's going to be beautiful to go out there, get some sun, and then see these games. So we're going to talk about how people could potentially participate either just as spectators. And I mean, to compete as a competitor, is there a way for people, outsiders, to be a part of the games?
Oh, absolutely. We have a athletic group here called the Tucson Celtic Hammerheads.
Yeah.
They meet every Sunday to practice, and anybody is always welcome. Currently, they're meeting at Reed Park. But there's other divisions out in Arizona that get together, so you don't necessarily have to live here to do it.
Right. We're talking with, we're back on the air. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA. We're talking with Angela from the Celtic Festival, which is going down this weekend at Weirdo Park. And so I was asking about the competitors, right? Because part of the fun is not only just the vendors, because there's going to be all different types of vendors that you could buy knickknacks from, or food. There's going to be food, beverages, spirits. Like, it's a party, right? It's a party at Weirdo Park with a lot of entertainment, live music as well. I mean, this is the 37th annual, so this continues to grow. What was the amount of people that came through estimated last year?
Last year, paid ticket holders was about 4,200.
Yeah,
Wow.
nice. Yeah. And that's a good amount of people, all there partying, and then the competitions and the games, of course, that go down. So I was asking Angela if people could participate as a competitor, right? And then how to do that is kind of a process, right? You kind of have to get ahead of it. There's nobody that's listening to this right now that could throw their name in the hat to be a competitor for this year's Celtic Games, correct?
I wouldn't recommend it. The caber is extremely hard. I'm actually an athlete now, and
Nice.
practice, and my mom is too. She's 77.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Who's
mom.
better? Can your mom still beat you in some of these things?
Not
Nah.
yet. But then again, I have a low bar, so I'm like,
Well, and also kids. There's a kids specific games, correct?
yes, we have a kids game on Saturday this year. We're going to be doing that, so they can win medals and prizes too.
With the kids game, so they could go there and just sign up, right? Okay.
Absolutely.
What are some of the competitions for the kids?
Kids, we do a mini caber toss.
Okay, so caber toss is essentially the pole, right? You're
Right.
talking. Okay, so what's the mini pole look like for the kids? Like a broomstick?
No, it's actually about the width of a normal caber,
Oh.
a woman's caber, junior caber. It's smaller, much shorter. It's probably only like 3 feet.
Yeah,
I feel.
and the goal with this is essentially it's kind of like a shot put, but I would say underhand in a way, right? We're kind of like softball, like you kind of throw it in the air and make it flip and see how far the distance is. Tell me how wrong I am on that.
You're very wrong.
Okay.
All right. So see, isn't this
You
like a
actually-
log? It's like a log, right?
It's a log.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You actually have to cup it with your hands.
Oh, yeah,
and
go two
like this,
hands.
and then
Uh-huh.
under,
Yeah.
and then pull it up and flip it to make a 360.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Like a little cartway.
And the
minimum is
straight-
360, right?
Right,
So if
right.
it doesn't go 360,
Yeah,
it
it
doesn't
has
count.
to go all the way over. So, anyway, what I was saying is that the straighter it lands is the more points you get.
Okay, so
Mm.
it's not necessarily distance; it's accuracy.
Accuracy. Yeah.
Wait, let
It
me-
means to flip right over.
Let me get this straight. It seems like these like Celtic games, like these traditional Celtic games, is like the original CrossFit.
Essentially, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
down.
And they are traditional games as well. So,
Mhm.
they're going back at ancient Celtic times and then just modernize it. And we get to basically watch history play out and all the entertainment that generations have been able to, enjoy. You get to see in your own backyard at Weirdo Park this weekend. All right. So with the saber toss, which is the big stick, the telephone pole,
Caber.
caber.
Mhm.
Okay. I'm going to mess things up.
You're gonna get there.
What are some of the other competitions too?
There's the Bramer stone.
Okay, so what is a Bramer stone?
The Bramer stone is a large stone that you throw basically from.
That's like shot put,
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, nice.
Yeah.
How heavy is that stone?
It depends on what division you're in, what class.
Okay, so what's the heaviest of the stones for the heavyweights? Because I know there's some burly Scottish men in kilts out there that are just built like brick houses, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I seen them. So they got legs like tree trunks, and then just big brooding shoulders. So they're gonna grab a boulder and just shoot it out.
The Bramer stone, I think that the heaviest is around the 20. I could be wrong, but 24-pound division, somewhere in there.
That's a lot to throw.
Yeah,
Yeah,
especially up by your neck.
Yeah.
It's
like throwing a toddler. Let's go.
It is. And there's a lot of parents out there that have had practice over the summer, basically doing the Brader Stone in the pool. Let's see how far Junior can go. Some other competitions that they got going on for the Celtic Games this year?
We have weight for distance.
Okay.
That's basically a big weight on a chain, and you throw it as far as you can.
Yeah.
There's a lot of throwing happening.
Yes, there's a lot of throwing.
Well, that's essentially like the history of the Celtic Games. So it was a strongman competition back in the day.
And that was a measurable thing of the distance of how you could throw it.
Yeah. And how worthy you were as a breeder, I'm assuming, you know? Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah. See? Be like, oh, he could throw that stone so far.
Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta bang that dude. That's what they would say back in the day with an accent.
That's the original Tinder? Oh, okay. You gotta earn it.
Today I'm gonna be on the corner of like Speedway and Alvernon, just throwing things around like, hey ladies, check out my distance. Yeah. Some other competitions you got going on there?
We've got weight over bar.
Weight over bar. Okay, so and that's basically I'm the way I'm like thinking about this is almost like what do they call when you kind of jump over something?
Like a high jump?
Yeah, kind of like a high jump. So a weight over bar, you throw something heavy over a bar.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It's pretty much the same premise, the same uprights.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, and okay, so with how many competitions in total, how many competitors did you have last year, and how many are you expecting this year?
Last year we had 78, I believe it was.
Yeah.
And this year we are up to 84.
Nice, already exceeding that,
Mhm.
which is fantastic. So yeah, even whether you're participating or you're just there to see the games, that's part of the entertainment. But really only like tip of the iceberg of the entertainment is the game. So we're going to talk more about what other entertainment that you could look forward to for this weekend's Celtic Festival here on the podcast broadcast. You could join us youtube.com/beefvegan. We'll have a little bit more right after this on Rock 102.1 KFMA. All right, clear. So that's FM side again. So yeah, because then there's music. I'm gonna pull this up again. Show me what you got, weirdo.
All right, so the musical guest, we go Wicked Tinkers. Oh man, I can't read that font.
Celtica Nova.
Celtica Nova.
Is this the same kind of font that you have? No, that's called Celtic font, right?
Yeah, this is Celtic Drummond. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know too because I've been doing a lot of video editing and I can choose fonts with my labels and stuff.
Well, you think I'd be
It's a
able to
go-to.
read that considering how long I've been listening to metal music and trying to see. I call it the tree branch font because that's literally what it looks like. All right, and then Swain, Traveler, Noble McCoy Band. Oh, they're from Tempe. Now, are these local bands to Arizona, or is some people traveling in from out of state?
Some of them are local, and some of them are traveling from out of state.
Nice.
Yeah, and you have some. Yeah, I would assume that there's probably organizations like this all over the country, right?
Yes.
Are you kind of connected to a large network?
We do. We have actually established friendships, especially this year with other festivals. We've traveled to Las Vegas, Albuquerque,
Nice.
and then of course our sister festivals in Arizona. There are 3 others: one in Prescott, Flagstaff, and Phoenix.
It's gotta be fun up north too.
Yeah, and then you get the Vikings on Friday night.
Yeah, Viking night.
When is the Flagstaff one?
Flagstaff happens in July.
Okay, yeah,
That makes sense.
Yeah, dude, that's perfect. Oh, you gotta tell us, give us a heads up next time too, for the Flagstaff one because I might even just make it a weekend.
This little Beef Vegan presents on the road.
Yeah. I mean, road trip up. Just give us any reason to go up to Flagstaff is a good reason,
right?
Especially in July to escape the heat. So that's fantastic. And then we get back on the air. We'll talk about ticket pricing and when the festivities start and all that. So people get all the games in there. Saying you're going to be competing this year.
No, unfortunately not. I'm actually the treasurer and the festival coordinator, so I get to work the festival.
Yeah, someone has to do it though,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. I mean, with the volunteers and everything, how large is your army going into this?
Well, it typically takes about 200 volunteers to put this festival on.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, we're all volunteers, including the board.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, well, that's good though. And then what do the proceeds benefit then?
One of it, we're a nonprofit and we use the money to host the next year's festival.
Absolutely.
But we also help out in the community. The first donation this year is going to the Community Food Bank of Southern Arizona.
Nice.
We're collecting food at the gate where you get, if you drop 3 items of food, you save the convenience fee at the door.
Nice.
So we do that. And then Southern Arizona Grays Adoption is our charity of the year this year.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it's always good to have a charity involved and attached to just an added motivating factor for people to get out. But, I feel like this year, especially coming into October, November, people don't need too many reasons to leave the house. They just need a destination.
Mhm.
They already have the motivation, and just
Right.
like, where are we going?
Right.
So, that's why I love seeing this thing and continuing to get bigger and better every year. And then, of course, with all the vendors, you're going to have all this different food. There's going to be traditional food as well. And then, of course, like regular, like Sonoran staples, like I'm sure there'll be like a taco stand or something, right?
Yeah, we have, we're supposed to have fry bread this year.
Oh,
and then
I love it. I honestly, I love fry bread so much.
Yeah, we have a vendor that serves tacos. We have mac and cheese, fish and chips, traditional Scottish meat pies,
Yeah.
all that good stuff.
Yeah. So they're making Scottish meat pies on site, like in a tent. Is that weird? Like, do they bake those? Does it take it seems like that would be a difficult task to bang out in a large number,
Yeah. I think for the most part, they're kind of pre-done, and then they
Yeah.
cook them here just because it is very difficult.
Yeah.
Scott's Fair Heritage Meat Pies, one of our biggest providers, he has equipment that was built in umpteen years ago doing it, traditional British meat
Yeah.
British Scottish meat pies. It's a definitely extensive process. So, but they are fresh when you get them, and absolutely delicious.
Yeah. Nice.
Nice.
Yeah. How big are they?
It's bigger than your
Like a
fist
pot
for
pie?
sure.
Bigger than fist?
Yeah, not
Yeah.
quite a pot pie size, but yeah, just about little books.
They're solid. Have you ever had a meat pie?
I have.
Okay.
Are they Sweeney Todd style?
Sweeney Todd style. huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Those bodies be fresh.
No.
Okay. All right.
That is too funny. Yeah. I
Sorry,
agree.
you're gonna need a disclaimer on this now. No,
No.
humans were hurt in the process of the meat
No, they
pies.
weren't.
Seriously. There might be a few people out there that'll
Well,
go just
you
for that experience. There's foodies out there. They'll try everything.
Oh
once.
yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, this looks fantastic. So 37 years deep. When we get on, we're gonna talk about the ticket prices and then the musical lineup.
Mhm.
Yeah, and hell, we could do one will call if you want. Yeah, if you want.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
no, absolutely.
yeah. I mean, I might get yelled at a little bit, but it'll be worth it. It happens. Yesterday,
Just bending all the rules.
yesterday we did bend the rules really hard, but we didn't get caught, I don't think, or not in trouble. So like in commercial radio, you're not supposed to mess with the playlist at all. And I take liberties all the time because you don't want to hear the same thing over and over again, right? Right. So, but yesterday it was Halloween. So my theme that I've been fighting to do for the first 2 years I was on this station, or back on this station, I should say, was on Halloween to play all cover songs because it's bands dressed as other bands, right? That's the theme. Instead of playing Thriller, it's like just play all the different covers. And they kept like shutting me down and saying no, right? So this year I didn't even ask. I just did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was expecting, I kind of had like a little pit of dread, like ball dread in my stomach, like I'm gonna hear it. I'm gonna be called to the manager's office or something, or I'm gonna get reprimanded at some point in the day. And I have my phone, on me all day long. I'm expecting that call.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll knock on wood because I might have that meeting today. But either way, I made it through.
We did 27 covers yesterday.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nice. Did you put the list
27.
on?
I did. I have the list together. We need to post it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we had a few people. We had somebody calling being like, "You need to post this playlist. This is awesome."
I mean, a lot of them were songs that you hear on the station anyway. So, I mean, it's like I broke the rules, but I played it safe at the same time. I was
Mhm.
very smart. And Trying not to get fired.
Yeah, but I didn't know about that Chris Cornell cover.
I don't know how you didn't know about
I
that.
don't know either.
That song was like viral. It was Chris Cornell doing Billie Jean.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's a beautiful song,
Mhm.
you know, especially in hindsight. Like I remember when he passed, we played it. And that's such a powerful song to play in mourning,
Mhm.
Chris Cornell, because it is such a somber song, but then he also like showcases his vocals like so strong in that. So you got to check it out.
Yeah.
I'd play it again, but I'm literally trying not to get fired.
We're being good right now.
Yeah. Get back on the air here. Rock 102.1 KFMA. That was Falling in Reverse, Voices in My Head. We're hanging out here with Angela from the Celtic Festival. And we want to give you all the rundown here, and we'll give away, we'll put someone's name on the will call list. It is happening this weekend, first and foremost. Okay. So I know that October, November, you're not looking for excuses or reasons to get out of the house. You're looking at destinations. Well, this is a family fun affair for all ages, right? So you could bring the kids, or you could just bring your group of adult friends to party it up and enjoy yourself for food and spirits and entertainment and competition and live music. A couple of the prominent live artists, bands that you have performing this year, Angela, or what are the names?
Celtica Nova and Wicked Tinkers. We've also got Traveler, Swain, Noble McCoy, and the Lougheed Band.
I'll tell you what, with all these bands and their style of music, for whatever reason, for me, it just motivates me to drink a little bit more. You know?
Right.
It is great drinking music. Like this Guinness is going down a little smoother right now,
Right.
with that band playing in the background. It's the same thing when you go out like on St. Patrick's Day and you hear and feel that live music and the Celtic style and going into all their kind of like lullabies and sing-alongs. It is just, fun drinking music.
Well, and then Friday night, they got the Viking night featuring the Circus Farm Fire Dancers. Like, just looking at that picture alone, I'm like, that makes me just feel super metal to like watch that and drink beer.
Yeah. So A to Z, I guess we'll go real quick, Angela. So A to Z, what is the Celtic Festival offering this year? And then how could people go get their tickets today?
So this year, we have a really special competition, actually 2 divisions, classes, I should say. The women's 60 plus class is throwing, which is very rare to get together. And then the women's 70 plus class is throwing this year, which is even more special. We're calling it our unicorn games.
Yeah.
Nice. So just these tiny little old ladies just out there throwing cavers.
Yep.
Oh,
Exactly.
that's amazing.
Yeah. How many participants do you know that are going to be in each class?
Each class, 60 has 4 and 70 plus has 3.
Nice. Yeah, still though. And they're going to be uber competitive with each other too. So
very, very much so.
Oh,
They're
gosh,
a
I
great
got
group
these-
of ladies. Great group of ladies.
Oh, silver foxes. Gotta love them.
yeah. So when do the gates open for the festival? And this is at Rito Park all weekend long. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. When does it start on Friday?
Friday, we're opening the gates a little bit early at 4:45.
Okay.
Music starts right then. And then Saturday, gates open at 8. And Sunday, they open at 8.
And it runs till?
Music goes until 9:30 on Friday night, and gates close at 10. And then Saturday, the same thing, 9:30, music ends, and gates close at 10. And then Sunday, the gates close at 5 o'clock.
Nice.
Wow,
All right.
Saturday, 13 and a half hours.
Yep.
That is a day.
No, that is a weekend. So I know you got a huge weekend ahead of yourself. And, I know you've done it for 13 years now, something like that. You've been volunteering and being a part of this party, which we thank you because I think it just adds so much, fun and to our community. So if you haven't been a part of the Tucson Celtic Festival and Scottish Highland Games, this is the weekend to do it. For ticket information, if you want to get single day passes, weekend passes, you can go to TucsonCelticFestival.org. And again, it's all weekend long. There'll be food, there'll be spirits, there'll be beer, there'll be live entertainment, and of course, there'll be competition and lots of kilts.
Oh my gosh, I want to watch 70-year-old women throw things. This is great.
Yes. All right. So TucsonCelticFestival.org. Get all your information there. I'd like to thank Angela for coming in and hanging out with us. And you want to throw someone's name on the will call list real quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, we'll do caller number 37 for the 37th annual Celtic Festival. Yeah, see, that's the number I just tied together. All right, so we'll do that. Thank you so much for listening and coming in, Angela. And I can't wait to hang out with you. I'll be out there Sunday. I think it'll be a good Sunday fun day. All right, so call now. Good luck. We're going to hit the reset. Be back with more right after this. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA. Clear. Awesome. Yeah, thank you.
Hey, thank you.
All right, let me go through these phones. And so I'm going to do all that. And while I do, I'll do my show open from this morning. And then we'll have Jo Koy popping in on the stream here soon. So stick around for that.
Smart speaker, bro.
Listen on your Amazon Echo device. Alexa, play Rock 102.1 KFMA.
You say it, I'll play it.
You want it? You got it. Reality radio done right. No nonsense, real and raw, just like you like it.
He's corrupt, he's inexperienced, and he lies.
Broadcasting from a broom closet in the Arizona Lotus Studios, it's Beef Vegan Presents.
Yo, welcome back to the show. It's Beef Vegan Presents live on Rock 102.1 KFMA, streaming worldwide at KFMA.com on the first day of a new month. It's a beautiful Wednesday, November 1st. Good morning, Weirdo.
Good morning. I have something for you.
What's that?
I'm calling it the Uncle Beef tax.
Oh, nice. All the peanut butter cups?
Yeah. And some Pokemon cards.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Can I get rich off these?
No.
I know people collect them. These are a lot of peanut butter cups. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
you were lamenting about missing the dad tax. Now you got the Uncle Beef tax.
Yeah, it was my first year not getting a dad tax, and I thank you for that. It helps me transition into a silver foxing, into empty nesting. You know, my daughter still lives with me, and she still will probably live with me for a couple of years. But yeah, like she's grown up so fast.
I know.
I hope you guys are feeling good. Did you go trick-or-treating last night?
So I didn't go trick-or-treating, stayed home and handed out Pokemon cards and skull erasers at the house. We had all of like 13 trick-or-treaters.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, what was the traffic like in your neighborhood? Because you have a neighborhood that's kind of Garden District, even though it's like Grant and Alverdon. Did you have any crackheads come up and be like, got any pennies?
No.
Oh,
No, it was good. A lot of teenagers.
Okay, yeah. Well, we were talking about that. That doesn't surprise me because you got to keep in mind a teenager now, like say a 16-year-old, is still kind of stunted 12-year-old because of COVID.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm sure they were trick-or-treating in pajamas. I mean, that was the style. I saw a viral video of teachers doing a dress as students week, right? And yeah, they were all wearing pajamas and Crocs, and that's the style. It's literally work from home is the fit that this generation has been rocking all through high school. And I'm sure it will change eventually and kids will start dressing up for school again.
Maybe.
But yeah, maybe not. Maybe they'll just be looking like bums and being comfortable.
I mean, several of the teenagers definitely were going with the 90s, 2000s theme, and it was awful. It was so bad.
Well, that came back full swing.
Yeah,
I mean,
it did.
I'm looking at my daughter's jorts and her baggy jeans, and I couldn't be prouder, to be honest with you. Like, yeah, that's so good. Yeah, keep it baggy and you know, throw out a W like West Side. She's like, what does that even mean? I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. You guys are embracing the baggy culture, but not the gangsta lifestyle. I see posers. But yeah, so that was good. But now that we got Halloween behind us, we could focus on, well, our next kind of spirit event is the All Souls Procession. Of course, all eyes are on that. That's going to be a huge deal, as always, here in Tucson. It's something very special to this region of the state. I know they don't even, I know they do it up in Phoenix, but not to the magnitude and the significance that they do down here.
Right.
So that's always fun. And then we're just gearing into all the festivities. In fact, actually, I did a photo dump yesterday of just some of the pictures that we've had with bands and just for October. And Rico's like, man, yeah, it was a busy October. And like, yeah, it was. And we got about a month left until the industry shuts down for 2 months. So now's the time to just kind of keep the momentum going. And how we're going to do that? Well, we have Jo Koy, who's going to be performing at the TCC tomorrow night. He's going to be popping on the podcast broadcast later on and be catching up with his hilarious ass. And, you know, I actually met Jo Koy way back when. He was one of my first, mainstream comedic guests that came to the house in Glendale when I was hosting a show out of my house, and he couldn't have been nicer at the time. So I'm excited to catch up with him now because he went from you're struggling to sell tickets at the Tempe Improv to now doing shows in arenas all over the country, having 4 Netflix specials, dating Chelsea Handler, starring in a movie. The dude has been around and been very successful and hilarious every step of the way. So excited to have a comedian on the show today. So someone's got to be funny, you know?
Sweet. We get to just kick back.
Yeah.
Relax.
Yeah.
Ain't gotta
Trying
worry
to.
about it.
Now, this is my birthday month, right? And my daughter's like, what do you want to do for your birthday? And I said yesterday, I'm like, I just want to get a doctor. You know what I mean? I'm getting to that age.
Mhm.
So, I've been paying for health insurance now for like 6 months, something like that. And it's stupid because it just taking money out of my check and I cannot get in to get a PCP to save my life in this town.
'Cause they don't take the insurance that you have?
No, they don't take new patients. And, they're all booked up and it's like insane. And this has been my struggle. And whenever I get some blowback, it's so defeating that I like give up. So yesterday I was on the phone for hours trying to track down like a general practitioner in my area that will just accept a new patient. And I literally called. I finally made through like one person who was like, well, actually, this doctor is accepting new patients on a case-by-case basis. And he'll basically evaluate whether or not he'll take you on as the other doctor retired. And I'm like, what the hell's going on, right? And I'm such a man child and I'm still like, slowly trying to be an adult.
Mhm.
And but I haven't been to a doctor in like 15, 20 years. I'm like, I'm reporting on news of like childhood actors or like actors who similar to my age growing up, just passing away of natural causes. So I'm like, okay, it's time for an effing wellness check, Like I got to get on top of this and do it now because, one lady was like, well, do you need to go to urgent care? Is it an emergency? I'm like, no, I'm trying to prevent those.
Right. Preventative care is huge.
Yeah. So I'm so stupid. I don't know, the difference between all these different doctor's offices and everything else. So I literally went to ChatGPT to guide me. And thank God for ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Like literally my advisor. So I finally get a hold of one, doctor's office who was like, who told me that the doctor's being selective in who they choose to be, new patients. And then so she asked me for my info. And instinctually, I was like, I'm 5'10", around 200 pounds, circumcised. And she's like, whoa, why are you telling me that? I'm like, oh, what info do you need? She's like, your name, your phone number? So,
like long walks on the beach.
Right. I was giving her my bio. So
like I don't need the Tinder profile.
She sounded cute, though. So after I gave her all my information, I was like, and the information I gave you before that she didn't write down still stands. Holla. But no, I'm not going to have a doctor now. I mean, there's no way I got accepted to that one.
You've just been blacklisted by all of them.
Yeah. And on top of that, now I got to try to get a dentist. And it's like, you know what? I have the insurance for it, but I'm like, F it. I'm just going to go to Mexico. This whole system's so broken.
Oh
so
my
many different
God.
ways.
Yeah. No, when I just went to the dentist like a month ago and they're like, okay, got 2 fillings that need to be replaced. I was like, cool, let's get it on the books. March was the soonest.
All right, buddy love. I mention and talk about this all the time, but I hope you're still watching the stream so I could talk to you. So that way you could get off my ass. First and foremost, I don't have masters. All right. That's not a thing. Obviously, we want KFMA Day back, and we're working on it. The reason why we don't have KFMA Day is obviously pandemic, and then the inflated market of festival costs, and to find a promoter that's willing to take that cost. Now, the good news is there are several promoters who are chomping at the bit. The bad news is it's a slow fucking process, and we have not gotten there yet. But the goal is to bring back both KFMA Day and Fall Ball, and hopefully one of those will happen by next year. But yeah, thanks for not necessarily listening ever and just randomly trolling on a comment and not paying attention to, see, I know you're not watching anymore. I know you just stopped watching, but yeah, that's it. Yeah, and you don't like to be talked to like that, huh? I'm sorry, buddy love. Get a real name. All right, we're back. This is gonna be bad news for somebody. Somebody's calling. You're trying to win those Celtic Festival tickets. Unfortunately, I've already given them away.
I know. I was checking on the park situation. Is that going on all weekend, Saturday, Sunday?
It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yes, and yeah, it will be happening all weekend long.
Right on, brother. Man, I appreciate it. You have a good day.
I appreciate you too. All right, so appreciate you more than Buddy Love right now, for sure. I mean, I'm tired of answering the question, right? But obviously that's the case. But I guess people don't like to be talked down to, so I'll change my approach next time. Maybe keep them on a little bit later, but
Nick, you should hang around. Jo Koy will be on soon.
Yeah, dude. I started it early so you could hang out for 2 hours, and
Like not feeling it today. Give it 20 more minutes.
whoa, Jesus, that's rough. No, he's out. All right, yeah.
Okay.
That's where we're at, I guess, on the podcast broadcast stream. At least, that was honest in a way. Where's everybody else at? I mean, I still see Anthony, Manny, Todd, but yeah, we have to. People have been popping in and out. The first 30 minutes definitely started off as an impromptu kind of PSA for the Celtic Festival, but we're gonna ramp it up on the second half for sure, and we got a bunch of different bits and things to cover, of course, and talk with Jo Koy. I'll see how long we can have Jo Koy on. I don't have a necessarily like they didn't say I only have 10 minutes, but they didn't say I have more than 10 minutes.
Right. See how
So-
comfortable we make him.
And I love you, Manny. It's good seeing you. All right, let's do this. Rock 102.1 KFMA. We're back here live on the podcast broadcast. Welcome back to the show. I want to. There's two different directions I can go. I could talk. See, I'm already cracking myself up. You know what? I'm going to go into some just weird stuff myself. Okay. Are you a fan of wine?
Wine.
Yeah.
No, I cannot find a wine I like.
I think I found the wine that you would like.
Okay.
Would you drink haunted wine?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So wine that was aged in a coffin.
Whoa, seriously?
See, I knew I'd get your attention, get you excited about this.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'll even share a hype video for it. But have you heard of the brand 19 Crimes?
Yes.
Now you've heard of it because why?
Because you could do that interactive thing with your phone and it would make the person come to life in the picture.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, that's amazing.
Super cool. And then they all had like a history and a story that went with it.
Yeah. It isn't Snoop Dogg on one of those bottles. I believe he is.
Is he?
I mean, I know that
I thought
19
it was
Crimes.
criminals.
It usually is criminals, but Snoop Dogg was charged with
that's
murder
true.
back in the day.
Yeah.
Well, it is the wine 19 Crimes. They just revealed a stunt where they aged wine in a coffin, and they say it's going to be the world's first haunted wine. And the details on this are and how they age it are kind of murky, and with whom they still haven't said, but they just say that it was buried amongst the dead at the Tower Hamlets Cemetery. And they did let people taste it during a couple special events this past weekend in the UK. And they said they haven't said if they're going to offer it for sale or how you might be able to get your hands on it. But more importantly, the question is, would people drink it? And it seems like.
And it's a used coffin?
That's where it gets super murky. You cannot age wine in a box where a body decomposed in. I don't think that's
sitting there
sanitary.
swirling the wine, just the aroma of worms is good on this one.
Yeah. See, but that's the thing. There are a lot of people like you out there that would get super excited about this. So I do think they'd be able to sell it. I would pass. I would do a hard pass on that. But at the same time, if it ferments and, it makes the wine a little stronger and tastes a little sweeter, then maybe I do a small tasting. I definitely would spit on that one, though. So these are both like leftover Halloween stories, right? So also in kind of an epic story, it was reported that human remains were being like showcased in Washington. Washington State paddleboarders got a shock when they found human remains in a cave, and they quickly reported it to authorities. So a Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife went out to respond, and a detective as well. And when they got there, they found out that it wasn't a body. No, it was a skull and a spine beer pong. Right?
What?
Yes. So police department tipped the hat to the pranksters, and little did they know the trick worked too well. So basically, it was an epic beer pong that was so epic that people thought it was an actual body.
Wow.
Yeah. And it got them super buzzed too.
That's hilarious.
I know. It's very good. All right. So with that, we're going to keep the conversation moving on the podcast broadcast. I'll squeeze in a Florida man before we welcome our guest on the stream, Jo Koy, who's going to be headlining the TCC on Thursday night. The hilarious comedian who has 4 Netflix specials and counting is coming up next on Beef Vegan Presents. So stick around. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA. There's another story too that the other thing that I decided to go safe on this one because the other 2 stories that I have bunched together happen to be about semen. Yes. But in a different way. Let me blank this out here. Earlier this morning, we talked about people's fear of clowns and why they have a fear of clowns. In case you missed it, one little something like this. Check it out. Let's check this out.
About 5% of the general population has a legitimate clown phobia. I understand this is not something you can intellectually explain or reason yourself out of.
Yeah, fear of clowns is a legit thing, and a lot of people don't know why they have a fear of clowns. And I'm sure for anyone that has a fear of clowns, yesterday or this whole last 5 days is probably terrifying to them, right? Because so many people dress up like Pennywise or any kind of like clowns. But I actually have a breakdown as to why people fear clowns in the first place that I found fascinating. I wanted to share with you. Is from a psychology professor named Philip John Tyson.
Okay.
He decided to look into the phobia, and it's known as coulrophobia.
Okay.
Okay. The study is believed to be the first ever of its kind. And I'm like, what? Really? Because we've been scared of clowns for a long time, man. You're just now getting around to this?
Nobody else? Nobody else? Really?
Yeah.
Are we sure?
Yeah. I know. It's shocking. Tyson's study found that most people who are terrified of clowns don't have a personal clown experience to base that fear on.
Really?
Yeah. So, it's one of those odd, phenomenons that people are scared of something and they never, if you're scared of heights and you've may have some trauma from falling down as a child, might have been the originator of that fear.
Right.
Right. But if you just went to McDonald's and had a grand old time and then left there terrified of Ronald, it doesn't make sense.
Redheads and Ronald McDonald.
Yeah. Now, it's common, but it's not common. In fact, actually, there's 5% of the general population in this country has that true clown phobia.
And there are some theories. One of them, there are a lot of clowns in movies that are evil. Okay, so that can be one sensitizing factor. The other one, though, you can't really tell what the clown's face is doing because it's always perma-smile. And that inability to know what someone's facial expressions are can generate fear.
Well, I can definitely see that. Yeah, because there's sometimes I misinterpret people's body language. It's terrifying.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm terrified of women in Scottsdale over the age of 60. Their, faces pulled back. You don't know what they're thinking. Yeah, it's fake. It's fake. Now, those are just theories from ABC News chief medical correspondent Dr. Jen Aston, but those weren't the results of this study. In fact, because you never know. She did actually point that out, that you never know what a clown's thinking. Clowns are unpredictable and they could surprise you things that normal people wouldn't do.
That is true.
Right. Like Powers is a clown, even though he doesn't wear the makeup. And you're just like, what are you thinking? And then people are disturbed by exaggerated features that look nearly human, but not really, which is actually bad news for people who have exaggerated features naturally. If Vince McMahon. I'll bring that up.
Okay.
Because do you know that there's two parts of your body that continue to grow throughout your life? Your nose and your ears.
Yes.
And you can recognize how old someone is basically based off their ears. And if recent pictures of Vince McMahon in Saudi Arabia, I could not help but just look at those giant ears on his head.
I did notice that.
Yes, man. They are
bad.
Insanely large. And this is a guy that literally for a majority of my life I watched growing up, never noticed his ears being anything abnormal.
Right.
And now that's the only thing I see besides that pencil mustache. I mean, there's a lot of wrong things going on with Vince McMahon right now. But the fact of the matter is, not even wrong. This is just aging. Eventually, we'll get to a point in life where they'll have surgery to be able to de-escalate the ears.
to de-escalate the ears.
Yeah. We're not
a good
there
way
yet.
of putting it.
Yeah. So those are the three reasons why people are scared of clowns. Okay. So you never know what a clown is thinking behind their painted on smile or frown. Clowns are unpredictable and people are disturbed by the exaggerated features. Also, movie clowns are never good.
No.
I mean, has there been a movie where the clown was like the good guy?
No.
That Yeah.
No. I mean, I'm thinking about American Horror Story, Freak Show, and oh my God.
Yeah, that's a question for you guys. Is there a movie that you could think of where the clown was actually a good guy? And Courtney, I saw that Killer Clowns from Outer Space comment, and that movie is a classic and amazing for many reasons. But those clowns are creepy as hell. Now, I'm trying to get a picture of just Vince McMahon's ears. Now, this is the best I could come up with here. real quick, because I talked about it. I'll probably make a little clip about it for YouTube later. But let's just all look at this and see that I'm not making this up. Now, this is, of course, now it's going to be a historical photo of Eminem, Mike Tyson, and Vince McMahon all sitting next to each other in Saudi Arabia, watching a boxing match, right? But look at the ears there. Like, that's Vince McMahon's ears now. And that's just, again, he's a guy that's like 80, approaching 80, just past 80. I got to get double check on his.
Well, and Mike Tyson's sitting closer in the photo, and his ear is smaller than Vince McMahon's.
Yeah, but you know,
in comparison,
here's something that you got to consider, okay? For a man whose ears are that big, he's sitting entirely too close to Mike Tyson, who definitely has an ear fetish. So you got to watch out for that. Like, those ears,
some girthy ears too. They're thick.
Yeah. All right. Getting some weird comments on Facebook, so I got to mute
Billy
those.
Madison?
Billy Madison, it was a good clown? Maybe. Was it a hallucinogenic clown? Yeah. I mean, it wasn't, I guess, a bad clown, but for Billy's parties. But that wasn't a prominent character. I mean, it was a nice stab at it. Here. Well, while you look that
what about
up.
Krusty the Clown?
Yeah, that's a cartoon. I'm talking in movies.
Okay.
Yeah. And you can say, oh, the Simpsons movie, but that's different.
No.
Let's react to this. I need you to count how many times this girl passed out. Now, the slingshot ride is terrifying. And I'm going to be terrified because we're going to do this rappel off a 17-story building here soon on November 10th. Yeah. And yeah, I'm scared. And in fact, actually, they're boosting it up. Like, our time to do it, I think, is before most other people's.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to be like, no, you got to at least have like a couple 10-year-old girls go down before me, before we go. We don't want to be the first to go down it.
Well, we're the private event. We're not even the public one. The public one's on Saturday.
Yeah, dude. Well, so yeah, they might, if they have us be the first down there, that's going to be.
Yeah, at first I was like, hell yeah, let's do this. And they're like 200 feet. And I was like, oh, I don't like going above the second floor of a building inside. I'm so screwed. I'm going to cry.
Yeah.
I'm going to cry. But you're going to be there with me, buddy.
Yeah,
we're going to get through it together.
We're both going to be crying probably at the same time. It's terrifying. So yes, that's happening November 10th. We're definitely going to get video of it. Mac is going down with Rico. So they get to go down a little bit later, but Weirdo and I are going down, and we're going to document as much as possible. But it is one of those things where we're like, oh yeah, it's a great cause, and we're trying to promote it and being positive. We're just like, yeah, we would do it. And they're like, good, you're in. I'm like,
yeah, when you started describing like my palms started sweating.
Yeah, but we're gonna do it. So
oh my God.
I know.
It'll be good. They've done this, 8 years now? No incidents. We'll be fine. We're safe. We got MacGyver up there with us. So
yeah, okay. We'll see. Let's get back on the air real quick. Rock 102.1 KFMA. I got just enough time to squeeze in a Florida man story before we get into some music from Harvey Danger and get ready to welcome our guest, Jo Koy, on the podcast broadcast. So let's do that, shall we?
Florida man, catch an alligator in the trash can. If you can't do it, no one can. Come on now, Florida man.
All right, today's Florida man is a man who wants to be hard as steel. And I'm not talking like Superman. In Orlando, this 23-year-old named Thomas Muse was arrested and charged after allegedly holding up a CVS drugstore and demanding. What do you think he would demand from a drugstore like CVS and Walgreens?
With the other little hints you've dropped, I'm gonna
assume. Don't go with the hints. You could say Perks, you could say Vicodins, you could say OCs. Okay. There's so many things you can rob a drugstore for.
Fair enough.
All right, but no, Thomas Muse, he was demanding boner pills.
Yep. Little blue pills.
Now, presumably to traffic, but pharmacy employees were handed a threatening note by Muse saying that he had a gun and would shoot them if he didn't cooperate. And then he gave them a list of drugs, which included Viagra and Cialis. But also, oxycodone and liquid codeine. So he wanted all of it.
Yeah.
Now, cops arrived as Muse was walking out of the store, and they were able to take him into custody after a brief foot chase. But the man who went into a CVS and tried to rob them of all their boner pills is definitely an epic Florida man in my mind. What do you say?
Yeah. Yep. He might be the contender for this week's Florida man.
Absolutely. So this goes out to you, Thomas Muse, our Florida man of the week.
Someday soon, seem to be the Florida will be beneath the sea.
True.
Passed down through the generations. The legend of Florida man.
Who?
The legend of Florida man.
What?
The legend of Florida man.
We're live on the podcast broadcast, and coming up next, Jo Koy is going to be joining us on the stream, so you could join us too. YouTube.com/BeFegan, or keep it right here because I got music on the way from STP and Avatar. But first, here's Harvey Danger. All right, clear. All right, so that was me DJing. All right.
Harvey Danger. That used to be a karaoke jam for me.
I know.
So
Okay,
good.
let's do a reaction to this real quick.
Okay.
This is fantastic. Let me pull this up. And I need you to try to count how many times this girl passes out. Now, when we watch this clip, you're going to be scared. I'm going to be scared because this is only going to be us on November 10th as we repel. And I thought to myself, I'm like, what will happen if I just pass out and they just have to slowly bring me down?
Right.
And then I wake up and then pass out again. I feel like I related to this girl so much, but it's real funny in this clip that I'm going to show you that went viral on TikTok was her sister. Her sister was in the slingshot with her, and we've seen these videos before. The slingshot's probably the most terrifying carnival ride that you're going to come across because it is the ride that people pass out on more than any other ride.
Yes.
And that's uber dangerous too because you see their kind of head bouncing around. It seems like they're injuring themselves. Okay, but this one is the funniest one I've ever come across. And a part of that is not because of the sister who is passing out over and over again, but it's because the sister who didn't pass out, who was laughing so hard she almost died, because she could not breathe.
Yeah.
And you could see
What
it in
a
her
good
face.
sister.
There's nothing she could have done in that situation. But we're gonna react to it right now.
Okay.
And so here it is. I'll pull this up, and she's already freaking out.
Haven't even launched yet.
Yes, and you have to count how many times she's gonna pass out. Okay.
I'm scared of heights. Please don't let me do this. Please. It's not scary. Please. I'm scared of heights.
So she's already boned, right?
She's already hyperventilating.
Yeah, she's and her sister just cracking up the entire time, trying to hold her hand. Make good.
Calm down, bitch.
I know, but it gets worse. So at this point, they should just let her off because it's like, oh, you're definitely going to be one of those people who are going to go viral because she's about to pass out before they even fire it off. But here comes the smoke, and they're about to fire it off. One.
2.
She's awake. She's out.
3.
Look. She's awake. Up. She's awake. She's out.
Jesus.
Look at her sister. She's awake. She's out.
Oh my God.
Look at her sister. Look at her. She's just like, my sister died. This is hilarious. Oh, she's awake. Out. And she's up. She's out.
Wow.
She's up. She's out. You keeping track? Hope you're
You're
counting.
up to like 6 now.
Keep counting, guys. She's up. She's out. Look at her sister's face. Look at her sister's face.
Yeah.
She can't even. And now they're like slowly going down, but it's still terrifying to her because every time she's just waking up, she's seeing the situation that she's in. She's reminded that she's in a situation and immediately pass out again. So this is a person who's reincarnated from a possum. She was a possum at one point in her life, or lifetimes, and she came back as a human girl, and she's just possuming right now.
Put me down.
They're working on it.
Out.
Wow.
And again, the sister. And she passed out again. All right. So what was your count? Let me see in the comments what you think your count was as they're going here.
Oh my God, the worker. What a great sense of humor. And round 2.
Mm-hmm. I see Jo Koy backstage here. Let's see if we get Mr. Koy. Can you hear me?
What's up?
Oh, we doing this. Oh, I get to see your profile pic, and then every time you talk, it moves, huh?
How can you? Here's the thing, man. I wear a CPAP mask, and it's 9 o'clock in the morning. If I turn this camera on, it looks like Darth Vader when he took the helmet off.
I have done.
Do I want to do that publicly? That's awful. What kind of request is that?
No, he talks about your CPAP machine and your latest Netflix special. It came out last year from the LA Forum, and I relate to that so much.
It's awful, bro. I have lines on my face and strap marks near my ear, and you guys are like, "We're live. Come on, turn your camera on." I'm like, "Bro, you guys took a shower at 4 o'clock in the morning."
Nope.
No.
And look at this face, Joe.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, in comparative,
you look just
even if
like
you
the
have
picture right behind you.
No, Joe, my husband has got a CPAP machine that's coming. Like, it's been ordered. What do I have to look forward to?
A good night's sleep. Finally, you don't have to sleep next to Chewbacca anymore.
I do wear earplugs.
Yeah.
Do you? Oh yeah, it's awful, and I'm the worst. I have the worst. I have the most severe case of sleep apnea. They can't even explain it because I'm 170 pounds.
Yeah,
So
that
it's
doesn't make sense.
That doesn't make any sense. So I can't. There's no way I can sleep correctly. I've tried everything. I've tried everything you can think of. The only thing that works is this full mask that I have to wear, or I look like I'm dying.
How loud is the machine, though?
It's
You
loud.
don't hear the machine at all. It's so
Really?
quiet. Oh yeah,
Awesome.
not at all.
Okay, because we were a little worried about that.
Oh,
You hear the wind.
You
Like
don't
as
hear
it
the
blows.
wind. Who is it? Why are you a liar? You don't hear the wind. What are you talking about?
I do. Look, I like my big question to you is like, I
You
have a
sound
lot
like,
of stuff.
You sound like the CPAP machine is a dog sticking his head outside the window when you're driving.
That's what it feels like. And that's why I could never do it, dude. I tried so many times and it's like I'm getting having mouse sex with a ghost. That's how I get woken up.
That's exactly what you look like.
Yeah, dude. Your cheeks all puff out and you're like,
yeah. That's exactly what it's not attractive at all. Waking up is the worst.
Yeah. So how long did it take you to get used to it?
Oh, it took me years, man. Years. I got this thing like 2005, and like to this day. Well, I mean, I love it. I can't live without it.
Yeah.
I love it. It's the best night's sleep, but it took me about 4 or 5 years to figure out how to fall asleep with it.
Wow. Yeah. So you had to be that dedicated to. Well, I mean, the goal is to not die, so that's great.
Right.
That's the ultimate goal.
Yeah. So the motivation's there.
Hey, just in life.
right. To avoid the headline, comedian Jo Koy dies in sleep.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So,
I'm gonna turn on this camera. Watch how horrible I look.
Oh, you're gonna look great.
It's gonna be for 2 seconds.
Okay.
Look.
You're fine, dude.
You look good.
I look like, you ever see a clown with the sad face? That's what I look like.
You barely. I'll go full screen just so we could screenshot this and put it on t-shirts later.
No, you're not doing this to me, man.
Your teeth look great.
Yeah, he's got good teeth.
Yeah,
This is Weirdo, by the way.
The cool thing about sleep apnea is your teeth get straightened on their own.
Yeah,
nice.
No, I'm a liar. These are fake teeth.
Well, I actually met you before. When I first met you, you were at my house in Phoenix, and you were performing at the Tempe Improv.
Yes.
And this was like over a decade ago. And things are just on the up and coming, and I've been following your career, ever since. And it's been what a fantastic ride. You've been doing a gangbuster business, dude, and congratulations on all that.
Oh, thank you, man. Oh, those improv days were amazing. Those were great shows, man. Now I'm playing Footprint Arena. That's insane.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you went, go from clubs to arenas. Was that ever the goal? And could you
Yeah.
ever envision that starting off that you wanted to be an arena comic?
I knew I had the potential of doing it. I kept dreaming about it. You know what I mean? I always thought in my head that that'll be sweet to play it, but now that it's a reality, I still pinch myself every time. I can't believe it.
What do you think was the pivotal moment that put you over from, like you said, those improv days and just road dogging it to holy crap, I'm in stadiums?
It's when I started selling out multiple theaters. Like I'll go to a city and I'd be like doing 4 theaters in a row. I'm like, wait, what? What is
sold out, sold
going
out, sold
on?
out, sold out.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
didn't make sense. And then all of a sudden they were like, all right, let's just try an arena. Let's I'm like, what?
And
Okay.
boom.
And that was crazy. I sold the
Yeah.
the first arena I ever played was the Forum in Los Angeles, and it sold out in like I think less than 30 minutes.
That's a fantastic venue.
Yeah, we're back here live on the air. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA. Joining us via stream is a man who's headlining the TCC tomorrow night. We got comedian Jo Koy joining us, and you can see him kind of faintly in the background. It's $1 million face. That was a face that led a movie, Jo Koy. This is a fake face that was a star of a movie that is getting in front of 10,000 people at one time doing full hour sets,
and
sold out the
I
LA
can't show
Forum.
you my face. You're right.
It's nonsense.
Yeah. God forbid the Spielberg movie had hair and makeup every morning for the shoot. You tell me to call you right out of a dead sleep with a CPAP mask on. And then you're like, we're going live. Turn your camera on. I'm like, are you kidding me right now?
How long?
I'm sitting here farting. I'm farting and I'm praying to God it's not loud so you don't hear it.
I'm praying to God it is loud.
Right?
Yeah. This
That's
morning radio.
By the way, these aren't morning farts. This is CPAP mask fart.
Do you get
The air's got to go somewhere.
Yeah, you get fed so much air that in the morning you just got to let it rip. Is that like a side effect of the CPAP?
I'm being crammed air into my gut for 8 hours. I'm literally sucking on an air pump for 8 hours. When I wake up, I'm bloated. It just seeps out. It's not even a fart. It's just my body going, "Hey, man.
Oh,
Hey,
I
man,
cannot. My husband
we're gonna escape out of every hole, bro."
Yeah, you're like a whoopee cushion. Like
I am a
real-life
walking whoopee cushion.
So
get
I
ready. Your
think-
husband's gonna look like that.
Yeah, I take it no one's sleeping next to you right now, huh? I mean,
Who
it's
would
difficult.
want to?
Yeah, I feel that pain. Just being a bad sleeper is very difficult, especially as you get older and stuff.
Mhm.
To be able to establish a relationship because of the terror, and then you say it in your latest stand-up.
It's not like I'm single. How dare you?
I'm relating right now.
Here on
I'm relating.
I'm on the stream, and you're describing me. I can understand now that you're older and you have a sleeping problem. Who would dare to lay next to a monster like you, Mr. Koy?
That's not what I'm saying.
A gassy, farting old man with with a Dyson vacuum attached to your face. Who would be attracted to that, Mr. Koy?
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I assumed wrong. You're like Hugh Hefner. You probably got 3 ladies sleeping next to you at this current moment.
Oh, well, if you don't mind, they are quiet. Yes.
Yeah. But it's very relatable is what I'm saying. The sleep compatibility, I feel like I would have to date a deaf woman to get into a full relationship because of the apnea issues.
Yeah.
But then my voice is also my only attribute. So I'm kind of it's a bone scenario. So I know, as you're going through that and documenting it in a very hilarious fashion, and you can see, just some of that commiserating on the last Netflix comedy special that you did.
Thank you. I'm saving lives, by the way.
You sure?
Yeah, you are. You're
that joke
normalizing it.
is crazy. Like, people come to my shows with CPAP masks, CPAP machines. I'm signing them. But it makes me happy because it's like, yes, it's a joke, but you know how many wives, because it's always the wife that says, thank you for
Right.
helping me get my husband to go to a doctor. Like, it's real. Like, they really go and get these machines. So I'm happy. It's a funny joke, but at least I'm saving lives, man.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now, at what point is CPAP going to sponsor your tour? I mean, you're doing.
You got to get that pharmaceutical money.
I would never imagine the flyer, just me with a CPAP mask on, live at Tucson Arena. ResMed proudly presents Jo Koy, the Finally Awake Tour.
I'm telling you, there's money there. And I do agree with you. You are definitely motivating sales and getting people to like kind of suck it up and be like, well, if he could do it,
Mhm.
Wow,
then I could do it.
I love the little pun you did there indirectly. Suck it up. Suck it up and live tour.
Or force fed it, but
Well, I do like that thing that went viral on TikTok where a bunch of guys who have those sleep apnea machines, they were like doing it to like the Top Gun theme, like, like they were putting on the mask, getting in the fighter
so funny.
pilot jet. Yeah. You got to have a good sense of humor of it, which you definitely have. And like you said, motivating people to go get checked out. That's good.
dude, you got style. You're one of the very few comedians that looks like a rock star as well, right? Always presented yourself
let's
well.
Go. Finally, I get a compliment out of you.
I have them. I have them.
10 minutes and 35 seconds in. Finally.
Well, with that, have you bedazzled your CPAP mask yet, or do you have like stylish and different color CPAP masks?
I do. It takes a while, but I put rhinestones on the hose.
Frosty crystals? You got to go fancy.
You got the Air Jordan single?
I got a CPAP mask tattooed on my calf. Just above my ass crack, I have a CPAP mask.
Well,
it's so cute when I go into the water.
Now, when you date new people, right? And you're in a relationship now, I'm assuming, but that transition. Now that you're so open about being an adamant CPAP user, does that conversation obviously comes up? And is it always kind of the same reaction with whoever you're potentially like talking to and dating? And it's positive at first, and then they kind of get surprised by the reality of it?
No, I think, women are just naturally, they're just more caring. Now, if a man was dating a woman and she pulls out a CPAP mask, I'm like, our date is over.
Yeah.
Forever.
I gotta go.
Yeah.
See you later, Maverick.
See you later. You're texting your friend like, I just banged Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Never again, dude. Never.
No,
again.
that is the absolute truth. That is the truth. Yes, women are definitely more caretaking, and it's like, oh no, that's okay, baby, because I don't want you to die next to me.
Yeah,
but men are just so shallow.
Yeah, they're like, oh my god, your machine's like white noise.
It's
like white noise. It sounds like a river. It sounds like a river.
I don't need to send my Alexa now. Yeah. Like a river. Well, beyond the CPAP thing, and of course, congratulations on having that Netflix deal. You banged out 4 Netflix specials, and I imagine
I'm getting ready to shoot another one.
That's what I imagine you're doing, because you're on tour right now, basically gearing up for another hour.
Next week I shoot it.
Really? Where are you shooting the next comedy special?
Shooting this number 5 in Brooklyn, New York. And then I already signed a deal for number 6. So right after I shoot this one, I shoot another one.
Wow. With Netflix, right? So you're not leaving Netflix?
No, I love Netflix. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, they are the home of comedy now, and that's how it is.
They do it right. You know what I mean? They promote it right. It's just, it's beautiful. The cool thing about it is they give me full creative control. So they trusted me on my last 3, where I did it myself. On my last 4, I did it all by myself. So this one I'm doing all by myself again. I got my own director. I got a producer, and I set up everything. I do it all myself.
What do you go into each special? Like, say, from your last one, what is the kind of visual direction or certain goals or things that you're kind of creatively thinking about how you want to present it that's different than your previous special?
I just want each special to have a through line. It has to have a story. For me, it has to be a story. and I want you to go from beginning to the end. I want it to tie up together, and I want it to mature. I just don't want you to, if you watch all of them, back to back to back, you'd notice that everything is growing. You know what I mean? My son grew up. My stories grew up. What I'm talking about is different. So that's what I want my specials to always be. I want them to be chapters, and I still want you to know about my life and learn about me.
Yeah. And it's how long does it take you to build an hour? And do you still do clubs? Because when I first met you, you were doing clubs in Tempe. And of course that's like 6 different shows a weekend, right? Where you get to own it out. With these, arena tours, that's one show, an hour and a half. So how long does it take you to build up that hour?
When I used to do those improvs, man, I was doing 12 a week.
Yeah.
I was doing massive improv dates. It was crazy. Now I don't have that luxury. It's like I sneak them in between on stage, but I don't care about risking, like if it bombs, it bombs. It's like, I don't even, back in the day, it used to be a thing like, oh, that sucked. I didn't want, I guess I won't do that again. Now I'm like, okay, that sucked. And I just move forward and just drop another, something that I know that does work. And I just keep sneaking them in until it grows.
Yeah,
Like
you try not to bomb like 3 jokes in a row. You do a little sneak in one bomb, and like, oh, I'll come back with this one, heavy hitter, and then bomb again. We're keeping the conversation moving on the podcast broadcast with Jo Koy. We'll have more right after these words. You can join us, youtube.com/BeFeager, and keep it right here. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA, and of course, Jo Koy headlining the TCC tomorrow night. Clear. All right, so we're going back and forth on the stream, by the way. I kind of did it backwards. I should have said Jo Koy headlining tomorrow night, and then all the other like taglines and shit like that. But whatever.
Now I am curious. You mentioned, about like you said, through your specials, basically we get to watch your son grow up, like through your stories and everything. Like how does your mom and your son like truly react, right? Because like I know I've seen interviews with your mom and she's absolutely proud of you, but have you ever done a bit that's kind of maybe pushed her towards the edge of being like, no, this is too much?
Yeah, I think there's like this time where they're like in denial about, what it is that I said. And unfortunately, I don't want to like candy coat the story. Like I want the truth to be said. And it's actually healing, when you hear that out loud and we're able to laugh about it. There's nothing funny about my sisters moving out at 18 years old or, the fights that happened when we were kids, but that's life, and
right.
We're all friends now, but back then when we were in high school and seeing my sisters just pack up and leave because my mom didn't want them there anymore, it's pretty traumatic. You know what I mean? So, she doesn't want that out there, but she appreciates the fact that that's out there and that things are better now,
Well, again, and just being relatable, right? Like anything from the CPAP machine to God, everybody, kind of has those family things that go on in those tumultuous times.
I'm glad you mentioned that because, when I did that joke, that was my biggest fear. I was like, oh man, I know. Cause to be honest, my sister moved out when she was 16, but I didn't want to say that on stage because I knew I would get a lot of heat. A lot of people would be like, oh, are you kidding me? Like your mom moved out at 16? Like what kind of parents do you have? Like I didn't want to go through that and I didn't want to paint that picture. But then I got these DMs and it was just like, women saying the same thing. Like, I didn't get along with my mom, but we're best friends now. And yeah, in high school, I was a different person. And so I didn't feel like, for years, I always felt like we just had like this horrible family structure. And then when I did that joke, I was like, oh, every family's like this. You know what I mean? We all go through problems. And yes, sisters do move out when they want to move out and you're not alone. So it was just, it was very healing for me, man. It was almost like therapy.
Nice.
Yeah, that's nice. And then everything's good. Your sisters and your family, what are your like holiday gatherings like now? Is everybody all together?
It's so funny because the one sister that moved out at 16 was the most, her and my mom just did not get along, man. Like my sister was ready to go. And now you can't separate those two. They're like best friends now. And it's like, you wasted all those years hating each other. And now you guys are like Thelma and Louise in the car now. It's like, they can't get enough of each other. So that's a cool thing. And I'm glad I put that out there because life is like that. It's just this vicious circle of life, and things happen, and eventually it'll all work out.
Well,
Wow,
seeing
that got
that,
depressing.
no. Well, seeing that, did you secretly wish that your son hated you more as a teenager, just so you guys could be so tight as he grew up?
I had this biggest fear that I was gonna be like my parents, because they were divorced. They divorced early. Back in the 80s, divorce was just like horrible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They made movies about it, and just the way people acted, like how you're supposed to act when you get divorced. You're supposed to hate each other, and you're supposed to have lawyers. And it was kind of like a thing. And it's like, nah, I'm not doing that. Me and my ex are best friends. I bought her a house in front of my house. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't want, I literally don't want my son to feel the way I felt with my parents. So I'm opposite. I go the extreme the other way. Whereas, call your mom, let's go out to eat. Your mom or his mom will come over and just take my car keys and drive a different car. It's like, and I love it, and my son loves it. And me and her are just best friends. And like, she gave me a kid, man. She's going to be in my life
Right.
until I die. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's how we're going to live. Like, I'm not going to sit here and fight for the rest of my life like my parents are right now to this day. So,
They
yeah,
still
so
fighting?
yeah,
Your parents?
how it is. I don't
Yeah.
really, they can't get along. And like when there's family gatherings, it's like this, little digs that they have to say about each other. It's just like, oh God, it's like you're
Yeah.
75. Who won? It's done.
Right. You
Yeah.
made it to your 70s and you're still alive. Just be thankful.
Yeah,
I know.
no one won. Let's go. Let's get the soft food and let's just move on.
Yeah. Or well, your last comedy special, you also talked about coming out of COVID, and of course, COVID, taking everything away, and getting back on the stage. But now, as we're getting past and we're accepting new normals, and we're kind of used to everything going back to normal as best it can. What direction are you going as far as what you're speaking in, and how are you finding your rhythm again post pandemic?
I'm loving it. It's I've never seen. I think with what happened during that time is people really did miss people. You know what I mean? People don't like to be separated. They like to
No.
be around groups. They love to be around strangers, and comedy is the best way to bring people together. And I've noticed it. It's incredible. Like to go out there and there's 14,000 people. Like that's nuts. It's not even a basketball game. It's like they're all here to laugh, man. And that just shows that people don't want to hear bad, negative stuff all day and live in fear. They just want to live life and laugh, man. And I'm the same way. Yes, I'm a comedian, but when I'm not on stage, man, that's all I want to do. I just want to laugh. I don't want to be
Yeah.
depressed. I don't want to hear about your miserable day. I just want to laugh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to smile, bro. I get so sick of like hearing people complain about everything. I don't want to live like that, man. We're only on this earth once, dude. So I'm gonna live it to the fullest.
Yeah, no, I know. And well, you're the king of taking negative and turning into a positive. A lot of your comedy is based off these embarrassing moments or painful situations that you turn into a positive. So, in a way, do you kind of embrace when you get yourself in a situation with like the CPAP machine or your parents' divorce, and where you're like, yes, this is going to be good. This sucks, but it's going to be good.
Yeah. I'm friends with John Lovitz, and it's such a dream friend because to me, when I was a kid watching Saturday Night Live and just seeing him, the way he would just create these characters is just brilliant. And then being his friend and sitting down and eating, one thing that he said to me was like, I'm going to do a horrible John Lovitz. He'll go, I don't understand why people don't see the funny in something bad. You go, if I see a car on fire, immediately I think of a joke. And then he goes, I don't sit there and go, oh my God, that car's on fire. I'm like, and then he'll do like a joke. And I'm like, yeah, that's me. He goes, I don't know what it is. It's just something in my brain. The minute I see something dramatic, my brain's like, look, this is funny though. And he's right. He's right. Like we were at dinner for like 30 minutes talking about that. I'm like, I could be at a funeral and immediately I'm whatever he's wearing in the casket. Like or you know what I mean? Look at this person crying. Like instead of being sad, I'm not even looking for it. I'm just whatever I'm looking at, I'm doing a joke right away.
Yeah.
I
Looking
guess
at
it's sadistic, but
I think that's a way to protect them. We're talking with comedian Jo Koy, who's headlining the TCC tomorrow night, and tickets available tcc.com. And we're back here live on Rock 102.1 KFMA, and we talked about how we're bringing comedy out of misery, right? Finding those situations in life that are awkward or painful, and in finding the funny in it, which is an inspiration for a lot of great art and comedy. And in a way, it's like a defense mechanism, right?
Yeah.
Because your body could feel this pain and be negative about it, or you could take that, regurgitate it, and spew happiness and positivity from it.
Yeah.
You're looking for those rainy days, like, oh man, this is gonna suck in the best possible way.
Yeah. And I don't do it intentionally. It's literally like if I see someone fall, and that's so stupid. It's a dumb premise, but it's like I'm not the one that goes, "Oh my God, you okay?" Immediately, I'm like thinking of the funniest thing.
That's my whole parenting style. Every time my kids fell, people would be like, "Oh my God," and I would just start laughing hysterically because I'm like, "This is hilarious."
Oh, the kids are
You
the
just
best.
gave
Kids
yourself a
give you
black
so
eye.
much material, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
well,
like
now
it
you're
can't be said. That's like God's gift.
Right.
I was like, I know how to entertain these parents. Watch this.
Well, you trip them. See,
Yeah,
isn't that funny?
Yeah.
So we're talking about the comedy special that's going to be coming up. He's going to be shooting a new comedy special or Netflix. That's going to be in Brooklyn. You could essentially get a sneak peek of that comedy special tomorrow night at the TCC, because I imagine you're going to be working a lot of that material out. You talked about not being afraid to bomb. So have you taken bits of stage, bombed on those bits, but not throw those bits away and just keep tweaking them until they work? Or have you ever given up on a bit, being like, you know what, this is not going to work?
Oh yeah, yeah. By the way, I haven't bombed in years. I just want to clarify that.
Yeah.
No, I just like if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I don't sit there and dwell on it. Like I just constantly, I'll keep rotating and just keep sticking new stuff in where it needs to be done. And I love to ad lib, so improvising is like something I love to do. So even that in itself, I'll deliver a joke different every single night. And then when I like a certain way I said it, then I always keep it in my head. I never write things down, so it'll just become this hour that just comes together on its own. But this
Yeah.
one I
So
really love. This hour is one of my favorite hours. And I know people say that all the time, but you should say that. It's brand new. You know what I mean? So this one is my favorite. I love it and I can't wait to shoot it.
nice. Well, what makes this one your favorite? Just where you're at in life right now, or?
Yeah, it's just that, and what I'm talking about is just it's more about me now. You know what I mean? Instead of like, it's more about current and what's happening and where I'm at as a father and where I'm at as an ex. And I love it. It's just like the topics are fun and the stories are just this is this is my favorite set.
Nice. Oh, so how much on average? So you're going to be, of course, doing the show tomorrow night at the TCC, and you have your hour, and you got it in your head. But how much of that is kind of like off script? What's the percentage?
Always
of,
a ton.
yeah. So
Always
what,
a
like
ton.
30% that you're kind of riffing in between written bits as you're going with the flow?
Yeah, it'll be like 40. Yeah, 35, 40. Like I just I have to. I got to do it for my sanity, first of all. If
Uh-huh.
I go up there and just do a routine, dude, I will go crazy. And I've done that. Like back in the day when I was younger, I would do just autopilot gigs where you just walk out and just start to finish. It's just autopilot.
Right.
And you feel icky. You know what I mean? You get off stage, you're like, God, that sucked. You feel like a robot. So it's always been my thing to be able to just change everything that's coming out, even the pattern, the structure, the joke itself, everything's different. So, and that's for my sanity. I don't want to ever go out there and repeat the same exact routine.
That's good though. Yeah, you might even get to a point where you have like deadheads following you from show to show because each show's a little different. You are like Jerry Garcia of jokes, my friend. You just keep jamming and manipulating and noodling around with your jokes and making them different every performance.
That's exactly it, man. I enjoy it, and it's I do see that too. I see the people that travel and go to multiple shows, and I love it, man. I recognize them, and and it's fun to actually have fans like that.
Yeah, when you record your comedy special in Brooklyn, did you get one take to do it, or are you going to be doing a couple shows and be able to pick from the best one?
You always want to shoot a safety, so I shoot two. I haven't shot it yet. I shoot it next week, but you
Yeah.
always want to shoot a safety just
In case the crowd sucks
just
or
in case you
whatever.
forgot a tag, just in case you forgot a joke, a whole joke. At least you got it. But for the most part, like 90%, 95% usually comes from one take. It's usually a whole live performance. So, and there's always that one where you're like, that's the one. So, yeah, it's usually the first one is the one that you get all the kinks out, and then the second one is the one where you just knock it out, and that's the one that you usually use. That's always been me.
Yeah. Does it take you a while to pick your outfit? Because a lot of comedians they try to be iconic with their outfits. They do their comedy specials. I'm thinking, like you have Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock. These are okay. I just coincidentally named all black comedians, but still, like an outfit that you wear. Do you have somebody that tells you what to wear, or are you envisioning that as part of the show as well?
No, it's just always black.
Yeah.
I have to wear black. It's just comfortable. It's just you're confident. You don't ever think about what you look like. Everyone looks amazing in black.
You look amazing right now, by the way.
Huh?
So you look amazing right now, by the way. Your whole screen is black. So
I know.
You're on brand.
Oh, there's a debate on whether you're a vampire or not in the comments section.
Oh, nice.
That's hilarious. That's so funny. I refuse. I literally look like there's lines all over my face right now. There's no way I'm turning this camera on.
That's why I still think you look fantastic. From one bro to another bro or Joe.
I love you, bro.
I just had to throw that out there. We're gonna continue a little bit more with Joe, and then I'll let him go on the podcast broadcast. But again, tomorrow night at the TCC, you can see Joe. Tickets available. I know Tucson's a walk-up town, but TCC.com if you want to get them ahead of time or risk your luck at buying them at the door. But Jo Koy is going to be headlining and packing the arena tomorrow night, and it's going to be a hilarious show. We have more coming up next on Beefy Can Present, so don't go away. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA. Clear. Now, last time I talked to you, I was doing like a little indie station. It was before podcasts were a big thing, right? So it felt very podcasty because I didn't have commercials and whatnot. And we were in my living room.
Yeah.
Do you recall this at all? You probably don't because it was over a decade ago.
No, I remember all that stuff, man. It's crazy. It's crazy how you just you don't remember until something clicks, and it's like, oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
So what was that call like?
I'm one of the few comics that loves to do radio, by the way. Like, I love to do radio. It's funny because I'll tell my comic friends, it's just like, bro, it's the best part of your job is the radio.
Yeah, sit and BS and tell jokes. Well, it's the hacky DJs that ruin it for comedians, and then they go into every situation. I have a stupid name, so trust me, I've had many situations where people are like, I'm gonna deal with a morning zoo right now. Yeah. And you're gonna have like bazooka sounds or whatever, like bugle noises in the background. But
I just enjoyed it. It's just like, what part of a comedian's job is an actual job? It's like everything we're doing is fun. You know what I mean? Like that. Like, radio is the one thing that you gotta wake up.
Yeah, but that's the most difficult from late nights. I see a little light. We might see all of Jo Koy at one point.
I gotta plug this in.
Okay.
That's all you're getting.
That's fair. As I trust that it's you. I know it's on a Jo Koy impersonator. So that's good. Yeah.
This is Jo Koy's
sounds
son.
good. Yeah. And you're out in LA right now?
Yeah. I live in LA. But I also live in Vegas, so I got a house out there too.
And that's where your family's from and everything, right?
Yeah, so I'm
Yeah.
always out there, man. But
What do
LA,
you
I love
prefer?
LA.
You
Huh?
do love LA? Yeah, well,
I
which do you
do love
prefer?
LA because you have everything in LA. You got the beach, the mountain, you got whatever you need is right here. And where I live is so perfect, man. Like I can get to anything within 20 minutes.
Oh, that's good.
And,
Yeah.
and yeah, I love it. I literally live in the most prime location. And I don't understand why more people don't live where I live. It's the perfect spot.
Yeah,
But
because the main complaint always is the traffic, right? And getting
Right.
stuck on the freeway for hours on end, but you're
yeah,
still 20 minutes from everywhere. So what is that, like the west part of
I
LA or?
live Mulholland, Studio City. So it's like
Okay.
it's right on the hill, and it's just you go left, you're in Hollywood. You go right, you're in the valley. You know what I mean? You take a slight turn, you're in Beverly Hills. It's like you're right in the heart of everything, and I love it. And
Nice.
yeah, it's literally my dream home where I'm at. And but don't get me wrong, I love Vegas. I love Vegas so much.
Vegas is fun too. So you still play rooms there, or you just arenas
Uh,
in Vegas now too?
just the arena, yeah. I
Yeah.
just play T-Mobile there, but I love it, man. That's where my family's at. That's where I started stand up. So yeah, I had to get a house out there.
That's got to be a good town. I mean, it's as far as comedy scenes are concerned, every city has one. But Vegas being the entertainment capital of the country for the most part.
When I was coming up, no, there was no comedy scene. There was just
No
a
clubs.
handful of comics playing coffee houses, and it was
Mm.
real light. It was really really light. I was playing bars where people weren't allowed to sit on the dance floor. You know what I mean? Like it was the improvs or none of those comedy clubs will let you come in because they were doing headlining weeks from Monday to Sunday, so they had no open mic nights. So it's
Right.
like you had to like create. That's why I started buying my own theaters and renting them. I would rent out theaters, not buy, but rent out theaters and sell my own tickets, and that's how I got my start in Vegas. Like I had to create my own shows.
But that's kind of like the Vegas mentality, right? Kind of like a hustler and entrepreneur known, right?
Yeah,
But that's, yeah. And I forgot about that part of your story, which it is so commendable too, because a lot of it is, against those obstacles, but being
Right.
self-made and being like, no, I can make this happen.
yeah,
This is what I just got to make my own opportunities.
yeah,
You know,
exactly. And it was so funny because the comedy clubs that were saying no to me, saw me, making some noise, and next they're offering me gigs, and it's like, okay, see, obviously I'm doing something right. And but
you
at
did the
that
same thing
time,
with Netflix.
oh yeah, same thing. Yeah, it's like, all right, let me shoot it. Let me show you what you're saying no to. And I think everyone should do that. And, I'm glad I got to show my son that just because someone says no doesn't mean stop your career.
Right.
Stop
Yeah.
what you believe in. Stop living your dream. Make it happen anyway. Don't wait for someone else to make it happen. Make it happen.
Yeah, I think that's beautiful too. So
Mhm.
again, it's a full circle moment. So your first little theater that you played in Vegas, you rented, you self-financed, you sold tickets. And
Yeah.
then your first Netflix special wasn't sold to Netflix at all. So you booked it, you rented it,
Yeah.
you basically sold your own tickets and did the same thing that you did back in the day. And again, that's been your formula for success every chapter of your life.
Yeah,
It's
man.
so weird how history repeats itself. It's a beautiful
Yeah,
thing.
for real. And you just naturally do it. It's like it's part of your DNA. And you know, just like like you said earlier, it's your fence mechanism. It's like that's also my you're not going to tell me no mechanism. It's like I'm determined. Like I'll make it happen.
Right. Yeah,
Right.
it's gonna happen. Didn't you host and do a radio show with your mom? Speaking of radio,
She started her own radio station, so
yes.
yeah, I have to go in. You know what I mean?
Oh, she's still doing it today.
I think so. Yeah, I think she still is doing it. So now she has a host and a co-host, but it's
Yeah,
so funny. It's so funny.
yeah. I think I do recall talking about that, and yes. So, what's the station in Vegas too? It's like an LPFM, something like that,
Oh,
or
yeah, it's
or
one of
AM?
those. It's one of those stations where you get to rep by the hour.
Yeah.
So yeah, hey man, it keeps her happy. You know what I mean? That's her
Yeah.
thing to do. Yeah, congrats.
Oh, and she could get an A-list guest whenever she wants. She just throws on that
Hilarious.
mother's guilt.
Right. Just
Yeah.
drops her son's name and boom.
No, I'm saying her son. Just guilt her son. Be like, no, I need a guest tomorrow. You're on, Joe.
Yeah. Now, when you started in '89, right? Like at the time, the tradition was, get on the Tonight Show, sit down on the couch, and then get your own sitcom. Was that like the big dream when you started, and then it kind of, morphed from there?
Yeah, back then that stopped. So like right when stuff started taking off for me, the Tonight Show wasn't really. It wasn't the place to look for new talent at that point, because that's when streaming started, not streaming, but like YouTube started taking off, and
Yeah.
getting your content out there was different. So everyone, when I got the Tonight Show, people were like, oh, it's good tape, you get to submit it to comedy clubs. Dude, I did the Tonight Show, it changed my life. So everything that everyone said about the Tonight Show was wrong, because I was working, I was a shoe salesman at Nordstrom Rack, and I couldn't believe how many people watched the Tonight Show the next day at work. It was like every other person was like, oh my God, you're on the Tonight Show. You were so funny. I'm like, yeah. And they're like, can I get this in a size 8? And I'm like, oh.
Super humbling moment.
Yeah. And then my career just took off. I got a sponsorship deal with a cell phone company. I was like the spokesperson, and they took me on tour. I made a ton of money. It was the most money I ever made. And I was able to quit my job and just pursue stand-up.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing, and it really is. It's we talk to a lot of musicians, bands, things like that. Similar paths on both, obviously. We're back here live, Rock 102.1 KFMA, with Jo Koy, who is headlining the TCC Arena, and it's an arena I'm familiar with. It's a good room. The energy has got to be different from a comedy room, Joe, than an arena. Can you still feel the pop when a joke is working?
Oh yeah. On a greater stamina, it's huge. When you make an arena laugh, it's like riding a wave. If you were a surfer, it's just like, it's massive, and it hits you, and it'll come a little slower, but when it hits you hard.
Yeah.
And and depending on the size of the room, sometimes it'll hit you, and it's like a 2-second delay. You're like, oh, you guys did get it. Just had to wait for the back of the room. So,
yeah. Well, those big rooms, it's true, because so I'm the arena host at that arena, right, for the hockey games. And there is a sound delay, because sound, travels and everything else. So when you're in that big of the room, you literally are hitting your punchline, but they're not hearing it until like a millisecond or like a second and a half later. And that small delay still does feel weird in real time. We're like,
yes. Yeah, for real. It's crazy.
I love that. See what?
Oh, nothing. My phone lit up, and I'm like, oh God, the camera.
I didn't see any lines.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, see? Come on,
I
Joe.
didn't see any lines.
Yeah.
You look beautiful.
You've been living your life on camera now for over 20 years. You've been on TV, you've been starring movies, you dated celebrities and stuff. You look fine.
Okay.
I keep saying that. Yeah, let's get a little light. The smile looks good. That's a Hollywood smile right there.
Hilarious. I love it.
And you stay in shape. I've been contemplating trying to get that, what's it called?
Ozempic.
Ozempic.
Shot.
What is that?
It's a shot for people with type 2 diabetes, but now it's being prescribed for like weight loss.
People in LA, celebrities are doing
that.
it.
Yeah, they are doing that.
Thank you.
You are right.
Yes, like Kim Kardashian right now is looking skinnier than ever, looking pretty good on camera.
I'm trying to convince him not to do it
because
I don't
of
think
that.
it's a good idea.
And honestly, I tried the gym thing and I don't have time for that. So I know you have friends that have been using it, and what is what's the word on the street in LA about these drugs?
I literally just work out. That's it. I don't care about what anyone else is doing. And now that my son's older and he works out harder than me, it's like this dad thing where I gotta all right. My son went to class today. All right, I gotta do something. So yeah.
Right.
So
You gotta keep up with him.
Yeah. So I just find him to be motivating, self-motivating, and I gotta top him because I'm the dad.
Yeah, we've always been in great shape. Is he like swole? Is he getting pretty big?
Yeah, he's ripped. It's pretty crazy to look at. So to think that that's half of me.
Exactly.
Is there a friendly competition going on? Like, does he challenge you to anything like arm wrestling or any of that stuff?
Always.
I'm a girl dad, so I don't know about that aspect of it. But
Always,
yes,
always. It's jits, because he goes to jujitsu all the time. So it's nonstop us going at it, and I love it. I love it to death.
when was the first time he beat you in something legitimately where you didn't let him win?
Basketball was the first one.
How soul
Actually, it
crushing
was the
was
only
it?
one. Basketball. He can drain it, man. He can drain it. It like from 3-point land, like with ease, and it drives me insane because I can shoot, but
Yeah.
it's just I don't have that first step anymore. It's like it's telegraphed. It's like, oh, you're going right, huh, Dad? Let's go.
Oh.
Is it that like weird, like I'm so proud of this, but god damn it?
Yeah, that's exactly that moment now. It's just like, what?
Yeah, so it was infuriating the first couple times he beat you.
Yeah, well, now I just accept it. I'm just like, all right, yeah, he's
Yeah.
better. There's nothing I can do. It's just I try. We'll go at it. It'll be 14-14, and then he'll hit the 3 for the win. It's just like, oh god, whatever. But
Was
not
there-
jits. Jits, not yet. We're still going at it. But I've had toe surgery, and it's been 3 months, so now I'm just hitting the weights hard. So, but
Nice. Yeah, so you could still out grapple him in jiu-jitsu.
yeah. I think the dad strength is still there.
Do you think he'll go for like a toe submission
But
next?
he's killing it, by the way. I know my time limit it's limited, so I gotta stay on point. I gotta keep going.
Yeah,
I
but
can't
he
let
has been
that
killing
moment
it.
pass. I'm sorry.
Do you think he would ever try to take this into like an MMA direction, or is this just something
No,
for?
he does it for mental health, man. It's beautiful. Like he is so dedicated. It's amazing. Goes every day. He crushes it. Yeah, I love it.
And this is
So,
something
yeah.
you've been on board with before it really gained popularity, like UFC, right? Like, when did you start doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
Way back. So, when I was in that sponsor too, when I was being sponsored by that cell company, they were actually the lead sponsor of UFC. It was called Amp Mobile.
Mm-hmm.
So I would go to all of them, all those events too, as well. On top of it, training. So it's been almost 17 years. of just-
Yeah.
yeah, but come on, bro. It's just off and on. Like we're not talking certified ninja. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Have you ever
love it.
had?
It's so good for your brain. It's just so good. It's good health wise. It's just like everyone should do it.
Yeah, I agree. Well, have you ever had to utilize your skills in a real life situation where somebody was threatening you or someone close to you?
No, because I'm never in that situation, but my confidence level is through the roof. You know what I mean? So, like, you know what I mean? So it's always a good thing to know that you have.
Yeah, so if you see a drunk person after the show, if you're signing autographs, you're getting a little abrasive, you kind of size them up real quick, being like, oh, yeah, I know exactly how to take this guy down.
I would never even have to. It's like, you got security for that. I
Yeah.
can't even look at somebody without getting sued. So it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, even if I am self-defending, it's like, oh, you're going to get sued no matter what. So I always got to remember that.
Right. Yeah. So we're talking with comedian Jo Koy. Again, he is headlining tomorrow night at the TCC. This is ahead of his next Netflix special. He has 4 currently that you can go on Netflix and check out to get you all amped up for tomorrow night's show. Doors open at 7:00. And, Jo, I appreciate all the time that you had, spent with us, hanging out with us. And like I said, I've been following your career for a long time and very excited about every step of the way. Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy, and continue all the great work that you're doing, man.
Oh, I love you guys. Thank you so much.
No problem. Is
I
there
wish I was
any?
there. I wish I was there in studio, but we'll make this happen.
Yeah, we've been hugging out. I'll show you the broom closet. I mean, last time you saw my studio and stuff, I had stains on the carpet, and we're smoking indoors. So this is a legit building. This is a legit studio.
Actually, I can tell that it's legit for sure.
Yeah, look at this. I got actual mic stands.
That's
We're
a
not holding our
microphone stand
microphones
right there, buddy. That's real. I love you
All right.
guys.
I love you too, man. Is there any people want to follow you on social media? Anything you want to throw out there for our listeners so they can continue to keep in touch with what's going on?
Oh, just Jo Koy anything. JOKOY.
Yeah, simple as that. All right, tomorrow night at TCC, we'll see you out there. We're going to hit the reset, be back to your beef tip after these words. Rock 102.1 KFMA.
I love you, man.
Hey, man,
Awesome.
love you too, dude. And yeah, absolutely. One of these times when you're in town and actually in the morning, I'd love to have you. Of course, open door here. We always have fun. And so
I am there.
And you're going to be okay. You're not sick, right? Because I got people asking, like, he's sick? You're not going to cancel. Yeah.
No. I'm there. Nope, that's allergies. That's another beautiful thing about wearing your CPAP mask.
It's just blowing pollen into your face.
Pollen right into your eyes.
Yeah. Well, you're not really selling it for me, but right now I'm currently single, so I'm like, maybe I should really try this out because it's very difficult to do it when someone's sleeping next to you in bed. But
yeah, you gotta do it, man.
If you swear by it, and you can. It only take about 4 years before it.
Right, before you're nice and comfortable.
Yeah. Before you can start dreaming again.
It's only gonna take 4 years.
I love you too, man. I'll let you get to your day, dude.
Awesome.
We'll see you tomorrow night at TCC. All right.
I can't wait. You. Bye, guys.
Yeah, good times.
Bye.
All right, so that's Joe, everybody. See, excellent conversation as we knew it would be.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, good questions by the way too.
You're welcome.
And we had people jumping in and being like, "Is this live?"
Yeah.
We do a live stream every morning now starting at 8. See, Darlene said we blow our budget at the When We're Young Festival. Husband can't take any more days off to go see Joe. Still working on getting a ticket. Yeah, I had tickets I was giving away for the show, but obviously not now.
Yeah. That's about a month ago.
Yeah. Let's see. Be vegan, not a hack. It's on the business card. Yeah. Thank you.
Hey, good morning, Chef Gary. I'll be seeing you Saturday.
Yeah.
So excited.
All right, Darlene. I've loving seeing all the comments, people jumping on here. We're going to wrap things up with just a little tip for you guys before we leave you. And before I get into that, there was a little segment that we did, and I'm going to get all set up for. But we got weird with Weirdo, and there were very strange stories. And in case you missed it, it went a little something like this. Check it out. Rock on 2.1 KFMA. That's Breaking Ben with the Diary of Jane. And we're going to be giving away tickets for Story of the Year here shortly. And then right after that, we'll give away tickets for Creed. So lots of ticket opportunities. So just keep listening for your opportunity to win. But now it's 7:50. And I know you got weird news, Weirdo.
I do.
So lay it on me.
All right. So have you ever been in a situation where there was like a language barrier and it just made it super awkward?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, every time I walk the halls here.
Why would that be, Beef?
Well, there's a lot of Spanish speaking DJs and whatnot that I'm friends with, but I barely speak English well, and it's very difficult for me to translate sometimes. But why?
Yeah, well, a couple years ago, I was in Costa Rica, and we had a little bit of language barrier trying to figure out what bus to get on, but not like life-changing stakes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a 36-year-old Russian man was in Portugal, and he was using a translation app to try to order some juice.
Okay.
And unfortunately, he was trying to ask for pomegranate. And so he wrote it down in in Portuguese, handed it to the lady. She then immediately called the cops.
Yeah, because that looks like he's trying to rob the bank, right?
No, it looked like a potential bomb threat.
Oh.
So, yes.
Well, what's it translate to?
So weirdly in Russian, okay, let's see. It says the digital slip of the tongue could have been due to the similarities between pomegranate and grenade in Russian, which translates to granat or granada, a subtle distinction that may have got lost in translation.
That's a big deal. Yeah. So what happened? Did the cops come down heavy-handed?
So the cops came down heavy-handed. 5 officers approached the hapless traveler with their guns drawn, and he lies in the prone position on the ground like a scene from like a thriller movie. They cuff him and then they take him into custody. But after interrogating him at the police station, they're like, you're not armed? We're good? Okay. Sorry about that, buddy. A little pat on the butt and send him on his way out.
Well, at least they were able to see that and didn't give him any charges. So I'm happy for the happy ending. But it's very funny. That's like a Curb Your Enthusiasm type moment.
It really is.
Anything else going on in the world of weird?
Well, okay. If I tell you these injuries, what do you think happened? This man suffered a fractured skull, broken bone in the neck, 9 broken ribs, and blood in his lungs. What do you think happened to him?
Sounds like he fell off of a 3-story building or got hit by a car.
He did fall.
Okay.
So the 59-year-old Chris Rowley in the UK, he was quote saying, "I can't remember much, just falling fast. It was quick and it was over within seconds. Then I was at the bottom."
Where did he fall from?
He did fall downstairs because his cat tripped him.
Ah, damn cats!
Yes.
Seriously, they get in the way. I had a cat adopt me recently. That little son of a bitch is everywhere.
Yes. So the cat, it's a hairless Egyptian Sphinx, and his name is Eric. He dove out and kind of grabbed onto his leg, and then he tripped down 14 stairs. It's going to be 6 to 12 months till he's back on his feet. And his wife works nights. He was by himself at the bottom of the stairs for 14 hours.
Ow, jeez.
Yeah, and his phone was dead, and he couldn't get up. And guess what cats do? Sat there and laid on him and sat there and did the making biscuits thing.
Oh.
The cat had no idea. The cat's like,
No.
oh, you're just laying here to snuggle with me? How nice.
Oh, no. And in his mind, he's probably looking at this cat like, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
Right? So did he say if he's going to keep the cat or not?
He is going to keep the cat.
Wow.
Because cats just, they're just innocent. He was just trying to play.
Whatever. It doesn't. I don't know. I mean, I would put that cat up for adoption immediately.
Right.
Or at least get little bells, like a collar with bells so you hear that little bastard coming from anywhere. Yeah.
And then just have flashbacks every time you hear a bell ring.
What a brutal way to go.
Right, but everybody jokes about that, right? Like if you were to have a medical emergency, your dog would be there trying to help. Cat would probably just eat your face.
Yeah, take a nap on you for sure.
Exactly.
So weird. Anything else?
That is it for today.
Excellent.
Those
All
are
right.
pretty solid.
Yes, they were. All right, we're gonna hit the reset. We'll be back with more Beefy Presents and start the podcast broadcast live. And we're going to have comedian Jo Koy join us on the stream soon, too. So you can join us youtube.com/beefvegan or on our Facebook page, or just keep it right here. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA. You know the name of the show. Let's go. All right, let me respond to a couple comments before we wrap things up. First off, Darlene, I see that you made that YouTube channel, and welcome. And yeah, thank you. And you won tickets for The When We Were Young, which I'm jealous. I wish we had tickets for that. That show looked amazing. But yeah, fantastic. And everybody, and then Manny said, talk about morning biscuits thing.
Making biscuits.
Yeah, so that's too funny. Weirdo's going to be actually covering for Robin Nash after the show as well. So when we get out of here, she'll be taking over. I'm going to leave you with a little moment of zen, and then we're going to wrap things up and continue to have fun for the rest of the week. We'll see. Hopefully we don't get sick. I mean, let me see that snot rag you've been messing with all morning long. Look at this rag. Says she's been all morning long. Her nose has been leaking.
Damp.
Yeah,
it is damp.
And I am I'm like, are we going to be able to do a show tomorrow on Friday? I mean, I got a busy weekend, but I've been dodging sicknesses left and right. My daughter's been dealing with COVID. I'm still taking care of her, but at the same time, avoiding her at all costs. It's been It's been brutal. And I woke up this morning like, oh, am I starting to feel something? So the paranoia is kicking in. Then I look across to my lovely co-host here, and she's literally dying and
dripping,
spewing germs.
I can handle being stuffed up, but when it's that involuntary nose drip, I'm like, come on.
Right.
I don't know. Like I said, I'm down a bunch of vitamin C. We got bullet for my Valentine tonight up in Phoenix, and then I am sleeping in so hard.
Yeah, well, good luck making it to that tonight. And then even when Patrick said Joe sounds sick, I'm like, so does Weirdo. Everyone, and I normally sound sick, so this is like anyone that's tuning in for the first time, like Liam, is probably like, Jesus, what is this? The death show?
Yeah,
like,
right.
What's going on? Live stream and he said, Manny said it's not dead, and like sounds like it. All right, unfortunately, that's all the time we have on our show today, but we had such a great time. I'd like to thank our guests in studio. We had Angela from the Celtic Festival who popped in. Of course, Jo Koy, who's going to be headlining the TCC tomorrow night, which is going to be a hilarious show. Tucson's a walk-up town, but make sure you run up, grab those tickets. There are going to be good seats still available, and pack it out for Joe. So we get great comedians coming back every single time. Until then, actually, Weirdo's going to take over.
Yep.
So you're going to hear the lovely Weirdo reading back song description titles and giving away tickets and whatnot. But we will join you tomorrow morning live from 6 to 10 a.m. and on the stream from 8 to 10. Yes, we do now. Then that's your beef tip, I guess. I don't necessarily have one. We're just going to wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for listening, as always. And drive safe, ride safe, rock local. All right? So I'm going to leave my streamers with this fun video, and we're out of here. Peace.
When you wish upon a side of beef, soon will come an end to all your grief. But if you've been mean or kind of bad, I will knock out all your teeth.